In this video, we're going to learn the conventional method for finding the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix, a 3 by 3, as well as a 4 by 4. So this is actually a 2 by 2 matrix. Let us call this matrix specifically the matrix A. So we need to find the determinant of the matrix A. Now first off, I'm going to represent these numbers within strokes. So this is basically done as it represents the way that determinant of a matrix are actually represented. So this is actually going to be 2, and here we have a -5. This is a 6 and a 1. Now we need to apply symbols onto the columns of this matrix. So the first column, we're going to have a positive, and the second, this is going to be a negative. So I'm going to take +2 and multiply it by 1. That is going to give me, oh, I need to write this in white. So that is going to give me +2. Next up, I have -6, and I need to multiply that with a -5. So that gives me +30. So this is basically going to be a 32. So as it is, the determinant of this matrix is 32. Now let us go on to a 3 by 3 matrix. So this is a 3, this is a 2, and a 1. Here we have a 1, a 7, and a 0. And we're going to have a 6, -2, and a 4 right there. So as usual, I need to write these numbers within strokes. So this is going to be a 3, 2, 1, have a 1, 7, 0. It's going to be a 6, -2, and a 4. Now we need to have a positive here. Here is going to be a negative, and here is going to be a positive. So I need to pick +3 and cross out all the elements which are to the same row as it, as well as all the elements in the same column as it. Now the numbers which are left are basically the cofactors of the number 3. I need to find out what is going to be the determinant of these ones. So that is going to be +3, and I need to multiply with the determinant of these cofactors. So that is going to be 7. We have -2 here. This is a 0, and this is a 4. Now next up, I have a -1. So I need to cross out all these elements as well as this. So I'm actually just left with 2 and 1, as well as -2 and 4. So that is going to be -1. Well, should write that in white. So this is -1 multiplied by the determinant of 2, -2, 1, and 4. And finally, I have a +6. So crossing out these ones and this, I'm going to have a 2, 7, 0, 1, or 2, 7, 1, 0. So this is 2, 7, and here we have a 1, 0. Now, we already know how to find the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix. Basically, you have a +7 multiplied with this 4, and over here you should have a -2, because we already have another negative here. So this is going to be 7 multiplied by 4, and that gives us 28. Now here we have so this should be subtracted. Now we're going to take -2 and multiply it by 0. So that is going to give us a 0, and this is going to be a -1. Now 2 multiplied by 4, that is going to give us an 8. Now here we are going to subtract it. You always need to subtract it. That is basically the method. Now here we're going to have a -2 multiplied by 1. So that gives us a -2. So that will be -2. Now here we have 2 multiplied by 0. So that gives us a 0. And this should be -1 multiplied by 7. And that is going to give us a 7. So this is 28 minus 0. So that is basically going to be 28. Now here we have negative, which should give a positive. So this is actually 8 plus 2. And so that gives us a 10. So this is -1 multiplied by 10. Now here we have 6 multiplied by negative 7. So 3 multiplied by 28. What is that going to give us? So that gives us 84. So that will be plus 84. Now here we have negative 10. And over there, this is going to be negative 42. So this is 84 minus 10 minus 42. So that is going to give us 32. So if we call this matrix B, this is going to be the determinant of the matrix B. And so that should be 32. So that is going to be the answer to this one. Now let us move on to the final one, a 4 by 4 matrix. So this is what we have. So let us say this matrix is a matrix C. So as usual, we need to find the determinant of the matrix C. Now, we need to take this out and write it in strokes. So this is going to be a 4, 6, 2, 1. So we have a 9, negative 1 is 0, and another negative 1. And here we have a 3. This is a 4. It's a 6 and a 7. And this is a 1, 2, 9, and 0. So we need to place a positive here, a negative here, a positive, and another negative over there. Now, if we wrong out positive 4 and cross all the elements which are to the same row with it, as well as all the elements to the same column, that is going to leave us with this. So this is actually the cofactor of the element 4. So we need to find the determinant of that. So that should actually be written this way. This is going to be a plus 4, and we're going to have a negative 1, a 0, a negative 1, a 4, 6, 7, and a 2, 9, 0. Next up, we have negative 9. So if we wipe these out, as well as this is going to leave us with these ones, which are actually the cofactors of the element negative 9. So this is going to be negative 9, and this will be 6, 2, 1. And here we have 4, 6, 7, and 2, 9, 0. Now, we have plus 3. Now, plus 3 gets all these elements crossed as well as this, which leaves us with a 6, 2, 1, negative 1, 0, negative 1, as well as a 2, 9, 0. So I'm going to write it over here. This is a plus 3. So we're going to have a 6, 2, 1, negative 1 is 0, negative 1. And here we have a 2, 9, and a 0. And finally, we have a negative 1. So negative 1, we cancel these out, we cancel this, and so we're going to have 6, 2, 1, negative 1, 0, negative 1, and a 4, 6, 7. So this is what we have. Now, next up, we need to find what will actually be the determinant of these corresponding 3 by 3 matrices. How are we going to do that? Now, we need to apply a positive, a negative, and another positive correspondingly. Like, that is basically how stuff is done. So this is also going to be a positive, this will be a negative, this is a positive, plus, minus, plus, and over here we're going to have a plus, minus, and another plus. So let us start with this one. So that gives us a plus 4. And this is actually going to create something very serious. So instead of doing that, I'm basically going to label all those determinants. So let us say this is actually the first and this the second. Let us call this one the third. Let's say this is the fourth. So let us start with the first. Now this matrix, this is going to be the first. So that is -1, 0, -1. We have a 4, 6, 7. Here is a 2, 9, 0. Of course, this is a plus, negative, plus, right? So as usual, we know that this should actually be a -1 because this is going to be a plus multiplied by negative. And then we have this to be the cofactors. So this is 6 multiplied by 0, which gives us a 0. This is going to be -7 multiplied by 9. So that is going to give us a 63. Next up, we have -4. Now I need to cross these ones as well as these out. Now this should actually come off very easy by now, so I basically must not really represent everything. So this is going to be a 0 multiplied by 0, and that should be a 0. And lastly, we have a -1 multiplied by 9. That gives us a -9. Lastly, we have +2. So that is going to be +2. Now +2, this has itself cancels out as well as that one. So this is going to be a 0 multiplied by 7. So that should give us a 0. And this will be -6. Now this is going to be -63. This is going to be -4. And we have 0 minus -9. That should give us a +9. Now here we have a 2 multiplied by 0 minus -6, which gives us a +6. So this is going to be -1 multiplied by -63. So that gives us +63. Now here we have a -4 multiplied by 9. So that should give us a -36. And here we have 2 multiplied by 6. So that should give us a 12. So let us see what that is going to give. We have a 63 minus 36 plus 12. So that gives us 87. So for the first determinant, I is equal to 87. Now let us go on to the second. So the second matrix, or the second determinant rather, that is 6, 2, 1, 4, 6, 7. You have 2, 9, 0. Now as usual, there should be a plus, a negative, and another plus over there. Now we're going to have a +6 multiplied by this determinant, which is going to be, we already know this should be a 6 multiplied by 0, and so that gives us a 0. This should be -63. Next up, we have -4. Now -4, this is going to get cancelled. This also is going to get cancelled. So we basically have 2, 0, and 1, 9. So 2 multiplied by 0, that is going to give us a 0. That should be -1 multiplied by 9. That gives us a +9. Now over here, we have +2. So this is going to be the cofactor of the matrix, of the element 2. So this is actually going to be 2 multiplied by 7. So that gives us 14 minus 1 multiplied by 6. That is going to give us 6. So here we have -63. And here we have -4 multiplied by -9. That is going to give us, I might just well write it the way it is for now. So this is 14 minus 6. That should give us an 8. So this is going to be 6 multiplied by -63. So that is 3 378. So that will be negative 378. And this is negative 4 multiplied by negative 9. That should give us plus 36. Now here we have 2 multiplied by 8, which is actually 16. So that is negative 378 plus 36 plus 16. So that gives us negative 326. So that is going to be the second determinant. I'm going to write it over here. Negative 326. Now let us go on to the third. So this is the third. So that is 6, 2, 1. Negative 1 is 0. Another negative 1, and a 2, 9, and a 0. So this is going to be a plus. This is a negative, and this is a plus. So we're going to have a positive 6. Now this is 0 multiplied by 0. So that gives us a 0. Minus negative 1 multiplied by 9. That should give us a negative 9. Next up, we have minus multiplied by minus 1. So that should give us a plus 1. Now these ones are going to get cancelled as well as this. So we actually have 2, 0, and 1 and 9. So 2 multiplied by 0, that is going to be a 0. This will be minus 1 multiplied by 9. So that gives us a 9. Lastly, we have plus 2. Now this is going to get cancelled as well as this. So we basically have these ones. Now 2 multiplied by negative 1 should basically give us negative 2. And we're going to have minus 1 multiplied by 0, which is basically a 0. Now this is going to be positive 9. So we have positive 9 multiplied by 6. That gives us positive 54. Now here you have negative 9 multiplied by positive 1. That should give you negative 9. Now over here we have negative 2 multiplied by 2. So that should give us a negative 4. So we have 54 minus 9 minus 4. So that is going to give us a 41. So as it is, we have the third determinant to be 41. I need to write this in green. Now we're on to the final one, this one. So this is going to be 6 to 1, a negative 1, 0, negative 1, and a 4, 6, 7. So this is a plus, negative, and another plus. So we have a plus 6, and of course this is the cofactor. So that should give us 0 multiplied by 7, which is basically 0, minus negative 1 multiplied by 6. That is going to give us a negative 6. Now we have negative, negative 1. Now if you have minus, minus 1, of course that is going to give us a plus 1. So we get these cancelled as well as this. So we should actually have 2, 6, and 1, 7. Now 2 multiplied by 7, that gives you 14, minus 1 multiplied by 6. Of course, that is going to give you a 6. Now finally, we have a plus 4. So of course, this gets cancelled out, and this also gets cancelled. So we have 2, 0, 1, negative 1. So this will be, first of all, a negative 2, and over here, we're going to have a minus 0. So this is positive 6. If you had positive 6 multiplied by 6, that should give you plus 32. Whoa, that should be 36 rather. And this is 14 minus 6, which should give you an 8. And 8 multiplied by 1 should give you positive 8. Now over here, we have negative 2 multiplied by 4. So that is going to give us a negative 8. So virtually, we just have a 36 over there. So this is going to be the fourth determinant. that is 36. So having got all this, we are actually going to take them back and plug them into the template that we have already written there. So we have positive 4 multiplied with the determinant, which is labeled 1. So this is actually the determinant of that one. So this should give us plus 4 multiplied by 87. Now here we have negative 9. That is multiplied by the second determinant, which is negative 326. Now we have a third one. So that is 3 multiplied by that. So this is the 1. And we have that to be 41. And this is minus 1 multiplied by this. We know this is going to be a 36. So let us find what that is going to be. And we have 4 multiplied by 87. So that is 348. Then we have a negative 9 multiplied by negative 326. So that gives us 2934. And that obviously should be a positive. And then we have 3 multiplied by 41. So that should give us 123. And here we have a negative 36. So we need to add these numbers together. That is 348 plus 2934 plus 123 minus 36. So that is 3369. So that is the answer to the question. The determinant of the matrix C is equal to 3369. So that brings us to the end of this video.